tell you that President Michael D. Higgins' daughter, Alice Mary, has arrived, and I would like you to give Alice Mary a very warm welcome. Also, we have a delegate card up here, Alex McAllister, Duleek Gate Branch, Louth. So it's available from the General Secretary if Alex wants to collect it. Motion number 25 is to be proposed by the Harold's Cross Branch, Dublin South East.
Mr. Chairman and fellow delegates, Brendan Bourne, Harold's Cross Branch, Dublin South East. The text of the motion is effectively being agreed by the Minister in a statement beforehand, and I'm very pleased with the approach he's adopting towards the freedom of information and various other changes he's proposing. We do include in our resolution the provision that when they're reviewing the freedom of information or rescinding the provisions of the amendment brought in by Charlie McCreevy, they should also include NAMA under the provisions of the freedom of information. Now, I know that Joe Costello made a very detailed and thoughtful speech on this topic a number of months ago, and various ministers have expressed support for this, so I would ask the Minister to take that into account when they're reviewing the Freedom of Information Act. Now, just a few points on the Freedom of Information. While the Minister has indicated they intend to restore the original provisions of the Act, I think the opportunity presents itself to go further and maybe take a broader view. The Freedom of Information Act, for example, I would suggest that they look at the Freedom of Information Act as it operates in Sweden, because this is a particular bad time in the body politic. There's a severe people's trust in public institutions as at a new low. There's no doubt about that. You see it walking around the street, and it's continuing to decline. And Dr. Niamh Hardiman, in a recent paper she delivered to the Social and Statistical Society, referred to the fact that we have a crisis of confidence in the political system, which is very serious. Now, when the Freedom of Information Act was being debated years ago, before it was introduced by Ethne Fitzgerald, which, by the way, was one of the significant contributions made by the Rainbow government, and we should never forget that was brought in by a Labour minister. But Seamus Brennan at that time, who was arguing that effective freedom of information will help to take the lid off many decisions that affect their daily lives, and it could be a means of building bridges between the government and the people. There was an OEC report a number of years back which stated that in the interest of social cohesion and trust in government, greater efficiency and the fight against corruption and greater transparency should be the ongoing objective. Now, our view is that the government should consider reducing barriers totally to the Freedom of Information Act and make a request for freedom of information free. What's the point of paying fees? It should be open to anyone to go in and ask for whatever information they want. We believe that the provisions of the Act should be extended, as the Minister has indicated, to include other bodies like the VECs and also NAMA, and maybe take on board the suggestion that make a request for Freedom of Information Act free. Thank you.